Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jaya Jai Nya Prabhu Nitya Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Parivajacharya Astottara Sata Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Astottara Sata Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, Sri Guru Gauranga Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today morning we're reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, entitled What Prahalada Learned in the Womb. Text number 16. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Sritvan matu stirodate. Sritvan matu stirodate. Rishinanu grihatam mam. Rishinanu grihatam mam. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. Someone can chant. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Vidvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Ritvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Vidvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Matajis. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Sutvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Rajunadri smriti. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Ritvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. Tattu kalasya dirghatvat. Sritvan matu stirodate. Rishinanugritamam. Nadunapi ajahat smriti. So word to word translation. That instruction on religion and knowledge. Tu, indeed, kalasya, of time, dirghatvat, because of the longness. Sritvat, because of being a woman. Matu, of my mother. Tirodate, disappeared. Rishina, by the sage. Anugrahitam, being blessed. Mam, me. Na, not. Aduna, today. Api, even. Ajahat, left. Smritihi, the memory of Narada Muni's instructions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Because of the long duration of time that has passed and because of her being a woman and therefore less intelligent, my mother has forgotten all those instructions. But the great sage Narada blessed me and therefore I could not forget them. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9:32, the Lord says, Mam hi pata vyapasritaha epi shiv papa yonaya sriyo vaishyas tatas sudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be low-born, women, vaishyas, merchant or sudras, workers, can approach the supreme destination. The word Papa Yoni refers to those who are less than sudras. But even though a woman may not be Papa Yoni, but because of being less intelligent, she sometimes forgets devotional instructions. For those who are strong enough, however, there is no question of forgetting. Women are generally attached to material enjoyment, and because of this tendency, they sometimes forget devotional instruction. But if even a woman practices devotional service strictly, according to the rules and regulations, the statement by the Lord Himself that she can return to God at Tepi Yanti Param Gatim is not at all astonishing. One must take shelter of the Lord and rigidly follow the rules and regulations. Then regardless of what one is, one will return home back to Godhead. Prahalad Maharaja, mother, was more concerned with protecting the child in the womb and was very anxious to see her husband return. Therefore, she could not consider very seriously the sublime instructions of Narada Muni. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Shakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shirade Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Seeking the blessing of all assembled Vaishnavas, I speak from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, my own purification. Because of the long duration of time that has passed and because of her being a woman and therefore less intelligent, my mother has forgotten all those instructions. But the great sage Narada blessed me and therefore I could not forget them. So this is Prahalad Maharaj telling his classmates, his students, what he learned in the womb, what Prahalad learned in the womb. So we can see here, first we have to understand that devotional service is not dependent on any material assets. Right? Here, Prahalad can remember everything because by the mercy of pure devotee Narada. One can ask Prahalad also, so this is Acharya's questions, that Prahalad mother couldn't able to remember because of the time, which is long time ago. But that applies to Prahalad also. Prahalad mother, if she is long time, then Prahalad is in the womb of the mother. But then how can he can understand or remember is by the mercy of Narada Muni. So it's not dependent on the birth. So here we can clearly see even Prahalad was the son of the greatest demon ever seen in the history. But still he is the greatest devotee and he is a Mahajan who actually epitomized the perfection of devotional service by constantly remembering the Lord, and he has great faith on the instruction of Narada Muni and also the Supreme Lord. So, this was his concern by the Indra, the king of the demigods. He thought that here is the seed of great demon Hiranyakashipu. We don't want another demon, so we need to kill him. So if you see the previous few verses, Indra want to kill Prahalad because he thought he will be a great demon. And after the birth, his father want to kill Prahalad because he is a great devotee. If you see, it's so pity actually, everyone wants to kill Prahalad just because he is a devotee. If you ever not come across this kind of problem, soon it will come when you seriously practice devotional service. A life of a devotee is not, Krishna is not promising in anywhere that you take to devotional service, everything will be rosy path. Right? Here the child not even taken birth, already people are lining up to kill him. Really? It's interesting. So if you see, there are 4 kinds of people in this episode. The demigods are there, the demon father is there, and Narada Muni is there, and the Supreme Lord is there. Okay? One wants to kill because he is a great demon, he will become a great demon. Another wants to kill because he become a great Vaishnava. So of course, because of the mercy of Narada Muni, he could able to stop the demigod. And by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, he actually stopped Hiranyakashipu. And Narada Muni says that don't think that you can kill Prahalad. This is the instruction to Indra. You cannot kill him. No one can kill him actually. So this is Narada Muni is Trikala Jnani. He can know past, present and future. No one can harm. Even as a living entity, no one can actually touch, no one can actually kill or cause any harm to the living entity. So Prahalad Maharaj is protected by the Narada Muni. So how a child can listen in the womb? So in the previously also, in the first canto, we can see Parikshit Maharaj story. He is called Vishnu Ratha because he was protected personally by Lord Krishna in the womb of Uttara. In that purport, Prabhupada explained that the Lord actually entered the womb of Uttara and protected by the weapon. Sudarshan protected the club, I think. He was going so fast that it protected the Parikshit. So that's why Parikshit means examining, or is all constantly looking for. Because he already seen the Supreme Lord, so when he comes out, he is already looking, oh, I've seen that personality, where is that person? So Prabhupada explained, it's not that the Lord entered the womb, the Lord is always there, everywhere. The Lord is present everywhere. Within the womb, outside the womb, within the atom, outside the atom. But because of the qualification of the devotee, he could able to see the Lord. Then Prabhupada writes, we are also in the womb of Mother Durga in this material world. Exactly like Parikshit Maharaj. We are all in the womb of Mother Durga. We can also able to see the Lord, right, if we are make ourselves qualified. So this is also big womb. We think, we are outside, but actually we are in a small confinement, if you really see. The layers of the universe is there. Yeah, it's like Anda, it's like another universe itself in a big womb, right? The Lord impregnate the living entities into the womb of the material nature, and each and every living entity take birth. So we are also in this womb of Mother Durga, and if we able to qualify ourselves, then we can see the Lord within this womb. And here, by the mercy of Narada Muni, Prahlad Maharaj able to see or hear. In fact, he is going to see the Lord soon. Similarly, our vision is also open, or we can made qualified to see by the mercy of the Lord. So Prabhupada says always that I give the qualification. We don't have any qualification to see the Lord, to serve the Lord. But because of the pure devotees' desire and the mercy, he gave the qualification. Exactly like Lord Krishna gives a divine vision for Arjuna so that he can see the universal form. Right? Without the mercy of Krishna, he couldn't able to see. Similarly, the Lord, by his mercy, by his representative, by his mercy, we can get the qualification. Costless mercy of a devotee, we make qualification to see the Lord. So here, the main point here is, so Prabhupada quotes 932, Bhagavad Gita, that irrespective of one's material position, Sudra, Vaishya, woman, can approach the supreme destination. On the spiritual platform, everyone can get perfection. You can attain perfection in the spiritual dimension. There is no restriction. Anyone who is sincere and who is eager, enthusiastic, patient, confident, associating with devotees, then there is perfection. On the material platform, if you see, we are not perfect. No one is perfect in this world, in material thing. But spiritual, we are all perfect, Satchidananda, qualitatively one with the Lord. But in material realm, we have our differences. Our body is our sum total of our karma, previous karma. Our body is nothing but the outcome of prarabdha karma. The sum total of our karma, we get our body. So now, the word papayoni refers to those who are less than Sudra, but even though woman may not be papayoni, because of being less intelligent, she sometimes forget devotional instruction. How do we understand this? There are different ways we can understand this statement. First we'll take in context to this story. Now Kayadu, who is the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, she is anxious and fearful. Constant anxious. What is her anxious is? She is anxious because her husband is gone to do austerity. Now she is anxious about his return, when he will come. And then second, to add up to that, there was an attack by the demigods on the palace of Hiranyakashipu. They plundered the wealth and they want to kill the son who is in the womb. So she is very fearful and she wants to protect the son from all danger. She is already constantly in anxiety on two things. The husband is away and the son has to be protected. And here Kayadu, even though a spirit soul, everyone is a living entity, on a material platform she has many responsibility. The responsibility of a mother, the responsibility of a wife. And this is very much bothering. Now when someone is constantly in anxious, constantly in fearful, constantly thinking about the welfare, the well-being of the child and of the husband, now if you go and give instruction on the spiritual platform, then obviously that would be the second priority because she is going through some kind of trauma situation here. So then she couldn't able to grasp the the instruction, even though this is the absolute instruction. As a part of responsibility, she is forced to think of bodily identification. Very simple. If you ask a woman getting pregnant, her constant thought is about the pregnancy and the child in the womb. And then if we give a lofty philosophical instruction, it may not sink because even though it may hear the instruction, but on a practical level, then again one is forced to think about the bodily needs. So in that way, one may say, okay, less intelligent. Why? Because not able to grasp the instruction at that point. Now again, when I talked about the body is psychophysical nature, which we cannot have a perfect body, perfect subtle body, perfect gross body, which is given. So if you take in that aspect, like just taking one faculty of the body and then determining the person's whole value may not be apt. Suppose if someone says, men are less beautiful than women. The man cannot get angry. Oh, how can you say that? Nowadays, it becomes so complicated. To say a woman, we need to get the permission of that person. Okay, I identify myself as a woman. Are you sure? Okay, then I'll address you as woman. Why are you calling me woman? Huh? It becomes so complicated. Kali Yuga, as it progresses, it becomes more and more complicated. No, don't call me woman. Don't call me man, because I identify myself different. Already we have a certain level of identification. Now on top of that we are adding another layer after layer. Why? Because then you are bogged down to the bodily consciousness of life. We are trying to remove that, trying to understand that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. On top, that itself a biggest identification. Then what happened? Now on top of that you are adding another identification. No, I am not this, I am something else. Recently I heard then someone in the class, they think they are cat. Some students, they think they are dog. When they ask for attendance, are you present, they meow. It's like, how do you tell that person, come on, wake up, sleeping soul. So here if you see, so similarly, intelligence is just one faculty of the body. The beauty, say someone will say, okay, women are less false ego. Huh? How can you say that? So, first of all, we have to understand in a different context also, less intelligence means it's different from no intelligence. Suppose in our room we take all IQ test. So we are playing with number. Then obviously one person is less than the other person. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't have any intelligence. Right? So we have to be very much contextual in presentation. And who is speaking? Sometimes, people accuse Prabhupada for saying this. But this statement was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj, spoken by Chanakya Pandit, spoken by Kunti Maharani, she says that, and spoken by Dhruva Maharaj. All these great Bhagavatam who are, in the pages of Bhagavatam, all they are speaking. So we have to understand in different way. So when one is considered less intelligent, a man is considered less intelligent if he is not able to control his senses and mind. Then he is less intelligent. Why? From Bhagavad Gita we know uncontrolled mind and uncontrolled senses means that one's lust is going to increase. Where is the seating place of lust? Mind, senses and intelligence. And then lust means, obviously, we know, dhyayato vishayan pumsa, that verse, what it leads to? It leads to lust. If the lust is not satisfied, anger. In anger, one memory is lost and get into delusion, and then intelligence is lost. The end result is intelligence is lost. So if a man is not controlling his senses, controlling his mind, then he is less intelligent. Why? That's why if you see in the pages of Bhagavatam, a man is portrayed as a lusty being. Why? Because they take the stand that what one should do, what is the expectation of a human life, that one has to control. So why, even in the start of Nectar of Instruction, one is, Rupa Goswami says that one has to come to the platform of Goswami before one has to become a pure devotee. One has to come to the platform of Goswami, then one can become a pure devotee. Without coming to the platform of Goswami, one cannot become a pure devotee. We cannot cross the level of Anartha Nivritti and Nishta without the control of senses. Forget about, talking about Bhava, Prema or any other high level of Bhakti. Irrespective of anyone following any spiritual path, the basic requirement is control of senses and mind. If one person is not ready to control his senses and mind, forget about spiritual path. Forget about, talking, first we'll come to the platform of, I am not this body. So it's so difficult that it takes so much endeavor, so much of determination, so much of willpower that one has to come to that level where he can able to control his senses and mind. So then the man is intelligent. How a woman is less intelligent if she not able to protect her chastity or purity. Then she is less intelligent. Because the more the woman is protecting her chastity, she demands respect. The more, if you see a man who is loose in his control of senses and mind, a woman loose in protecting his chastity, the society will not give respect to that person. Then obviously we are degrading ourselves to the animal platform. So Prabhupada writes again in the first canto, during the Lord Krishna going from Hastinapur Dwaraka, or the Lord entering the Dwaraka, the women are given a natural gift of shyness. So the more the woman is chastity, shyness and all this quality, she actually very respectful by everyone. So that's why, this less intelligent is very contextual and understand what is the purpose. So now, irrespective of material conditioning, material designation, the body and everything, one thing we should understand, if a person is performing devotional service, he is the highest intelligent being, Sumedasa. Those who are performing Sankirtan, one should understand high intelligence. Whether a person male body or a female body, if someone is coming into devotional service, Krishna consciousness, one should understand the person is highest intelligence because he understood. So that is very important. Even sometimes Prabhupada used to bring up this point that in the car or in a traveling or something where all the men and then few women disciples, Prabhupada says, Chanakya Pandit says that one should not trust a politician or woman like that. And then he goes on then finally he asked the women disciple, so what do you think? And then Prabhupada, yes, like that they say. But then Prabhupada again reply back, but you are not a woman, you are a devotee. Huh? You are not a woman. So Prabhupada makes the point, but then he makes sure that the person is respected in devotional arena. Because one who has become a devotee, then one is above the material designation or identification. One has to be very careful. So on a material platform, yes, there are differences, there is no perfection, there are some shortcomings, there are some so many misidentification. But on the spiritual platform, one is acting on the platform of soul. So that is not, Prabhupada here again emphasizing the point, even a woman practice devotional service strictly according to rules and regulations, the statement by the Lord himself that she can return to Godhead. Following the rules and regulation can able to elevate one. So this is basically the sadhana bhakti, the 64 regulative principles of devotional service, which is given in Nectar of Devotion. Again interesting, why these rules and regulation is given? Because naturally one act on the platform of likes and dislikes. What I like to do and what I don't like to do. Which is again on the platform of sense gratification. This is Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. You can read the section 30 to 35, attached and detached person, where Krishna is explaining that if a person is only acting on the platform, our activities and our life is molded according to our likes and dislikes is actually obstacle for self-realization. If you are only doing activities on the basis of what I like to do, what I don't like to do, that means you are creating obstacle for self-realization. So then you follow rules and regulation. When you follow rules and regulation, you are forced to do what you don't like to do and you are forced to give up what you like to do. When you follow rules and then you are coming out of the bodily platform, then that is conducive for self-realization. So this is. But then Prabhupada, then Sri Krishna says, what can we do? How can we force? Even a man with knowledge cannot be forced to act. They act according to their nature. Everyone is acting according to their nature. Then how this then nature is? You develop all qualities by association. Sangha sanjayate kama. You develop all the qualities, you develop your ambition, you develop your desire by your association. So simple, by associating with certain kind of modes, you develop that quality. Then you develop your activity depending upon your quality and desire. And then you go through the consequences because of the activity. So one has to come to the platform, minimum is to come to the Sattva Gun, where knowledge and happiness is predominant. Right? Then one can easily surpass the Sattva Gun and go to pure goodness. So that rules and regulation is open. We are not discriminating devotional service on the basis of any gender. Here Prabhupada clearly saying anyone can perfect. One must take shelter of the Lord and rigidly follow the rules and regulation. Then regardless of what one is, one will return home back to Godhead. Sounds very ambitious. but possible. Prabhupada here, with all his conviction, is giving this process. In fact, Prabhupada is the one who actually provided that facility, irrespective of what one's body is, without any discrimination. Prabhupada was criticized for that, giving Brahmin Diksha, starting an ashram for ladies. Prabhupada was criticized, but they have done wonders. If you read the early veterans of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada was so proud that what sannyasis could not achieve, Grahastha achieved. So Prabhupada was so proud of their Grahastha disciples because they gave everything in the service. So we have to be very cautious because these statements and these descriptions, it's not that one should look down upon someone. Very much cautious. Because when they come to a spiritual platform, we should give all the respect for a Vaishnava. They are no more in male body or female body. They are also serving the Lord, and everyone is serving the Lord. So we have to give respect, we have to give the recognition, and we should not able to distinguish or discriminate on spiritual platform. So I'll stop here, see if anyone has any correction or comments. Question on what we discuss. I don't know whether we covered everything, but I think time is okay. Enough spoken.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
My question is that, Kundi Devi had a husband, she didn't have husband, but she has kids and everything. But she was so much problem, but she was more and more going closer to Krishna consciousness. But Kayadu, she is also a devotee, but she was worried about her husband and then baby's protection. So can you please elaborate on Kundi Devi and Kayadu? I don't know why she could not take the blessings from Narada Muni, but Kundi Devi was so much going closer to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you have to see, Kunti Devi was convinced her protection is Krishna. Right? That on a spiritual platform, everyone needs protection, and one realized that that is Saranagati. That Krishna is going to protect me fully. That is a surrender, that is a shelter. And Kunti prayers is that. But Kayadu was not in that state because everyone needs protection, but then there are certain sections in the society need more protection. The child and women need more protection because they are vulnerable, easily can be manipulated. That's why the Shastra says, is protected by an husband. Woman is protected by an husband, by the father before marriage, and husband after marriage, and after husband left or passed away, the son who protect. And we see in the history, wherever this protection lack, then the woman is misused. Great example is Lord Ram and Sita. When Lord Ram was not there, then Ravan took over. So here she is anxious of her husband because she is thinking that husband is going to protect. But then for Kunti Maharani, she understood her husband is passed away. Yeah, she didn't take over the ruling or anything. Right? She is a queen. She didn't take over. But then instead, she took shelter of their sons, and she understood that Krishna is the ultimate protector. So that one has to come to that conclusion, irrespective of whether one's position is.
Thank you, Prabhu. Can we say because Kundi Devi was with devotees, religious, virtuous kids, but Kayadu didn't have any association? Can it be? Oh, but she had Narada, Sage Narada.
Sage Narada, Prahlada is there. Prahlada is the greatest devotee. But that detail is not given, can't comment, but one has to understand that one understanding is also required.
So can we say she's a less of a devotee than Kundi Devi?
We could speculate, but...
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhuji, you mentioned Krishna is everywhere, and we know that he is Satchidananda, he is always blissful. So I would like to ask, what about the hearts of the bad, sinful persons who kill animals, do sinful acts? Is he still blissful in their hearts?
Yeah. Krishna is blissful. Krishna is always happy. Isn't it? Krishna is silent. One of the qualities that is given the description of a bird who is just watching in the tree of a body. The other bird is continuously eating different fruits, right? So he only reciprocates to those people who are trying to connect and communicate with Krishna. So if the demon is thinking prakriti kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasaha hankara vimudatma, that everything is done by my endeavor, my hard work, I am the doer, I am the karta, then Krishna also he facilitates according to his karma, but then he is just a sanctioner and observer. He doesn't personally involve. But then Krishna is saying, pratijane priyasime, what is it? That my devotee will not perish. That Krishna is saying personally for devotee, because Krishna is taking care personally. He comes personally and takes care. And Krishna is saying that I will protect, do not fear. I will give protection, I will take care, I will, So Krishna is very personal with devotees because the devotees want to reciprocate, have a relationship with Krishna. But for demons, Krishna is just a, observer. It's like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yeah, Jai Prabhu. Okay, I have 2 questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you for the class. You mentioned before earlier that one has to come to a level of Goswami before becoming a pure devotee.
Yeah.
And then we also heard Prabhupada gave that benediction that we don't have to become 10% Krishna conscious to go back. We can become 70%.
Yeah.
So is that 70% a Goswami?
70% if you sincerely follow. Sincerely take up the... But also said, one chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, sincerely, then one can go back home. So it's very subjective on what level we can follow. And also one should not live up to, okay, we have a lot of time. One should take, Prabhupada said, one should take this life, seriously and finish off and go back home, back to Godhead. Don't try to stay around. So one has to be 100% give oneself fully to Krishna consciousness. So when we give 100% fully in the process of Krishna consciousness, then that is 70%. If we are giving 70% of ourselves fully, then that is not 70%. Then we are lacking something. So we have to give fully to the process, to the mission of Srila Prabhupada, and sincerely chant and trying to advance. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you for the nice class. Just a comment here that I remember in a class that Bhakti Swami was giving. Bhakti Swami is a very pure devotee. He was a lifelong brahmachari, and Prabhupada asked him to help translate Bhagavatam into Bengali and things. And anyway, he was giving this class, and he mentioned on the subject of women being less intelligent, that being less intelligent, they require more training before they can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So they take birth in Burma Vrindavan as a gopi, and Krishna personally trains them up that way so they can become qualified. And I was thinking, if you're less intelligent, you can become birth as a gopi, and Krishna personally trains you. So what use is this extra intelligence? I mean, you take birth as a gopi, and Krishna personally trains you, no?
Yeah. Because Prabhupada also mentioned that, you see, natural devotion is there if you take in a female body, because you can easily connect. Your emotions are already there. You don't need much, the rational thinking is involved, that one has to be convinced logically, but rather by simple pastimes and the leaders of Krishna, one get attracted. And there's Prabhupada also mentioned, same first canto, that you see all the devotional meeting, you see large number of women participating, and they want to really take part into devotional service. We can move into it. Is it? You have one? Yeah.
Question he asked that 70%,
Yeah.
that is because when we try 100%, we will be able to do at least 70%, and when we do 70%, then the Prabhupada's and Krishna's mercy will become Goswamis, because it's not our effort.
Yeah.
Their mercy will become Goswamis. Thank you so much.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.